New recording artists trying to gain success from a local standpoint seem to have this issue because they've spread themselves too thin, or their new fan base too thin via social media. You all seem to have this overdependence on social media for digital fame, and even though you can achieve that, there's a difficulty in building a network, a local network around yourself, so you can really be out here in these streets heavy versus in the digital streets of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Now, of course, you're going to feel disconnected from the local music scene due to your efforts of trying to reach a more broader audience on social media. And though we need this, you can't equate your digital fame to actual physical fame by being connected to the local music scene or the streets, if you will. Being for the streets. That's what we've got to address on today's episode of the Music Money Makeover Show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham, and when I was managing artists, I had to talk to every one of these people that I'm going to give you in today's show. It doesn't work without them, and you don't succeed without them. So let's hop in. All right, music money makers. The first step to truly connecting with your local music scene is to engage with the tastemakers. Now, these are individuals who hold sway over the public's musical preferences. And when you get your music into the hands of these influential people, you not only expose your work to a larger audience, but also begin to feel more integrated and acknowledged within your local music scene. Now, this approach helps to shift the notion that success is just not about digital reach, showing that local personal connections can be equally, if not more, powerful. So, I mean, look at this guy. He could be a DJ, right? He could be a promoter. He could be a local influencer. Whatever it is, being known by some of these local people, whether you find them through social media or you're really out in the streets and you see that these people are always around. I mean, they could be dancers, they could be fashion designers, they could be anybody. But if you're known by these tastemakers that design the taste and the speed and decide what's hot and what's fresh and what's new, and they are those people that are always on the scene and they know you, you've got a situation where the streets are starting to talk about you, right? Now, you're going to need a few of these people. So you're going to need the tastemakers to run into other tastemakers and say, hey, yo, this is my guy such and such. And you're like, yo, I already know them. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, word? Yeah, cool. And now we got, okay, cool, man. Hey, look, come to the club such and such. And we can go hang and we can kick it and blah, blah. And now the scene knows you. Now, these people, like I said, they could be DJs. They might not be DJs. But the point is, they are the cool people on the scene that knows what's happening and is in the now of everything. And you need to be in connection with the tastemakers. Now, DJs, whether they're doing clubs or whether they're doing events. Next, you want to make an effort to build relationships with DJs that play at clubs and events. These DJs have the power to showcase your music to a broad and diverse audience. Beyond expanding your fan base, collaborating with DJs can also provide you with a sense of belonging and reinforce the importance of local relationships in building a successful music career. Now, every DJ doesn't spin at clubs, and every club DJ doesn't spin at special events. However, securing the DJs locally will almost secure the city so long as everything else you're building is on point. So you can find these people, like I said, you can go back to your social media profiles, find these people by doing your due diligence and searching from your local music scene. But ultimately, your music has to be in their hands. So if you have to invite these people out to a listening party that you do yourself, whatever you got to do, you got to get your music in the hands of these DJs. Every DJ, like I said, won't be at a club. And sometimes the event DJs are the ones that play music that's a little bit more unique than the stuff that will go in the club. The club DJs actually want to hear that music a lot of times before you get to the club, so they ain't messing up the crowd. They're not messing up the DJ set. So they want to know that there's traction going on with you, but also they want to hear some fresh music and see that there are things actually happening with what you're doing. So you got to check out both of these types of DJs. There are many different types, but you want to get your music into the hands of these local DJs. Now, promoters, got to talk to the promoters because if you're good, they're going to put you on. Now, promoters are another essential group to connect with. Their skills in organizing concerts and events can give you the platform you need to grow your fan base from a live performance position. They are the key to bigger live opportunities. All right. More than that, working closely with promoters allows you to feel a stronger sense of connection to your local music community. Now, this again reinforces the philosophy that achieving success in music isn't just about global digital reach, but it is also heavily influenced by active involvement in your local scene. All right. So these promoters, man, all they need is for you to know how to move the crowd, to wow the crowd more than the host that they hired. If the host that they hired to host a show, or sometimes the promoter may double as a host themselves, sees you perform and they are blown away, they're going to say, I need to be in business with you. I need you at my next show. Boom, you're in there. That's why artists have to work on their shows. So you all got a lot of work to do, man. But if your show is tough and the promoters love it, they're going to push you on to more stuff. And now you're in the local scene. Now, street teams here. Don't overlook the power of the street teams either. These are groups of specialized promoters who are willing to promote your music in your local community. So when you have local individuals actively advocating for your work, it can boost your reach and provide you with a sense of validation and belonging. Now, this grassroots approach firmly establishes the idea that success in music comes from deep community ties and support. Now, if you're on the scene, you're going to either see the flyer guys or the poster guys, or you're going to have connection to these guys or the groups of people that actually hang these posters or give out these flyers. With those connections, they will begin, if you want to, if you pay them, they can start to promote you as well. They can say, hey, this area is good to promote in, this one's not, this is how much this costs, yada, 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 on down the line. Don't negate the street teams, especially when you're in a market where there's not a lot of action going on. So if you're in a market where there's a lot of dope boy activity and you have a unique approach, you can really get around that trap music and position yourself as someone who's very unique in the market. And then people will want to come out and see you. Now, the talent bookers. This is the next level of the promoter. Another group to network with is talent bookers. These professionals can offer you opportunities for gigs and live performances, increasing your visibility and helping you connect more deeply with your local audience. This interaction again validates the importance of local relationships for success in the music industry. Now, the talent bookers are the people who actually know how to see talent and get them in the venues. Okay? To be honest with you, they don't always work in the venues. Sometimes these are bigger promoters who do bigger venues. And that's what they do. They can find, okay, like I'm gonna bring these A-listers out and I'm gonna need some openers. We're gonna find some openers from the local scene. So they really know how to curate new talent. They're always on the scene looking. All you have to do is ask about them. And then when you find them and they come out to see your show, then from there, you can start getting better shows. Okay. So you want to network with these people right here. Now, the upcoming artists, you can't forget about them. Collaboration with other upcoming artists is also invaluable. Not only can this expand your fan base, but it also fosters a sense of camaraderie with other musicians in your local scene. This collaboration underlines the notion that the music industry thrives on a sense of community rather than competition. You need that community. Some people just won't make it out of the bottom. But when you have that proof that you were there, when people go back and they do their due diligence, man, it just makes the whole story look better. Plus, you never know who's going to rise to certain levels. The person you collaborate with might get to that medium level status and they're still supporting you and you're supporting them and y'all still do stuff together and they could become the opening act that you put on the road. Like, you never know. You know, these artists have other connections too. These artists have all these other connections that we just talked about right here. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to negate collaborating with the other artists on your scene as well. Now, I get sometimes the local music scene can be kind of dry, depending on where you are. But still, the fact that you're out in the streets networking, you're moving and shaking together, helps. Now, street executives. I love these guys. Finally, align yourself with street executives. Sometimes they can be a little sleazy and slummy, so watch out. But their vast connections and in-depth industry knowledge can provide opportunities that you might not have had access to on your own. Building relationships with these executives can make you feel like an integral part of the local music scene, and reinforce the idea that close-knit community support is vital for success in the music industry. Now, these people, a lot of times they try to sign you to a record deal, a publishing deal, an artist development deal, something like that. But the point is, you want to string them along so that you can find a way where you can do business with them without them actually signing you to the deal. Simply because a lot of times they're just going to walk you into the record label. These are the people who are left on the scene who are trying to shop artists. They're essentially bird dogs for the A&Rs at major record labels. And you don't necessarily always want to sign to a major deal. They're actually looking to get the bag. But you can also run into street executives who also sell beats and get you in the studio with producers. I like those guys a lot better than the people who are trying to just walk you into a record label. You get what I'm saying? So these street executives are always good to know because they can keep your name floating around at a different level in the streets than, let's say, the DJs or the tastemakers. You get what I'm saying? Now that you know that, what if I don't have enough resources or time to connect with all these people? Well, prioritize based on your current needs and gradually build these relationships. Now, what will essentially happen is one person will introduce you to the next and the next, and the next thing you know, it's like you don't even have to network anymore. It's just there. They're just there for you because they see that you're moving and shaking in the streets. And as long as you're out there in the streets doing your thing, you winning because your presence is there and you're doing your thing online. Can't nobody stop you. You get what I'm saying? Well, what if these individuals don't respond or aren't interested? Not everyone will respond, but persistence and consistency will eventually pay off. I had people tell me, man, like they spoke to one of my artists and said, man, your manager is really persistent. And that was me. Like I was the 1 week guy. I would call you 1 week. I would ask for something. Hang up. Hey, I give you 7 days to do what you need to do. I'm calling again. If you don't got it done in another 7 days, which is 14 days of total time, all right, you know that I don't need to mess with you. But if I really need it, I'm going to press you to get it done because that's what I'm doing for my artists. Press these people, man. Let them know that this is something real. You need to know me. You understand what I'm saying? What if I am not good at networking? Practice makes perfect. Start small, be genuine, and your networking skills will improve over time. The thing is, a lot of people don't get spoken to. So really, only thing you got to do, your thing is you want to meet everybody that you can in this game. Hey, what's up? My name is such and such. What's your name? A lot of people are just going to answer back with their name because they don't get, approached. And then from there, now this is when you're just getting started. I'm not talking about if you're targeting people. If you're targeting people, you could use that approach by just not knowing them. You know what I'm saying? But then it'll come off kind of awkward. But point is, if you address people, people will respect it. Especially the street executives. Yo, I know you're such and such. My name is blah, blah, blah. And then you fall into the conversation. Okay, word. Hit me Monday morning. They usually ain't got nothing going on Monday morning, but hit them anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then establish your relationship from there. So forth, so on. Keep the DMs rolling. Keep the numbers, the text messages rolling, all of that. Just learn, just push yourself to do this and you can win. All of this is great, but it doesn't work without a foundation. Before the sleazy street executive tries to sign you to a deal, you need to know how this game works and you need to have your foundation set up for you. So how are we going to do that? With this, it's called a 60-day record label course. It's a framework to establish your record label in a perfect 60-day sequence. So what we're going to do essentially in this course is we're going to build your LLC and we're also going to build a bank account to attach to it. And all of this is going to be done flawlessly for some base level anonymity to keep these lurkers out of your mix. And then we're going to set up your records and publishing division to collect domestic and international publishing royalties without the middleman taking 15%. Because remember, it's early in this game and that 15% is very expensive to you. You don't know it yet, but I know, so trust me. And then we're going to utilize the contract templates inside of this course right here so that you can really understand how the game works and you can know what will be thrown at you by the street executives and other A&Rs in the field before it even gets to you. So now you already have your shield ready. All right. All the stuff that's covered below are things like BMI, ASCAP, Sound Exchange, the MLC, Music Reports, Harry Fox Agency, Luminate, All Music, ISRC.com, music distributors, and much more is inside of this sucker right here. And it's lifetime updates, free lifetime updates for $275 or 5 easy payments of $55. Can't beat it. But book a 1 hour call with me after you're done with this course or before you even start so I can get a strategy going for you. A lot of things are coming to this 1 hour call and I'm going to do a lot of special things with this. So I want you all to stick and stay. But if it's your first time watching the channel, make sure you download all the free stuff right down below. Okay. But the sounds of success is this. Increased visibility in the local music scene, stronger connections with key players in the local music industry, expanded local fan base, more opportunities for live performances, improved networking skills, and an elevated music career. Ultimately, it supports the digital fan base that you have so that you can actually back it up with real stuff, real people. So when you showcase what's happening in the streets onto your social media, people are feeling like they're missing out because they're watching the next best thing open and form and grow before their eyes. And they want to become part of it because now, guess what? You're cool because everybody on social media is not in the clubs. They're not at the concerts. They're not hanging out in the DJ booth. They're not at the local fashion shows. They're not at the hip stuff. They're not at this particular thing and that thing. And when they see you doing it, they're like, I knew this person when they were starting, and now I'm cool because they're cool. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't address these people in the game, then you'll have a lack of local recognition, which doesn't make you cool in the streets. And you'll be isolated from the local music community, which causes you to have a limited growth in the fan base. Because even though you can do this thing digitally, when you step back out into the streets, people are like, who are you again? You know, and what do you do? Oh yeah, you are that guy. Yeah, well, guess what? We never seen you on the scene, so I don't know you. So I don't know if I want to invite you to this DJ booth party that's popping right now. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, this is where we want to be. Music money makers, if you can connect with all of these people, I mean all of them, not even skipping a beat, then you can transform yourself from where you are right now into a powerhouse artist. And ultimately, that's where you want to be, because right now you put everything into social media, but when you step out on the scene, nobody knows you, and that's not fun, because you want to be recognized when you walk in the building. You want to be that new superstar artist, and you can even do that. You can be the superstar on your local scene by just addressing the people we talked about in today's video. All right, music money makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label, download the free stuff below, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.